I'm so glad you've joined us today. You're on the Coffee Break Show. My name is Vickie Helm, and today I have Daniel Alfon with me. And I want to let you know something. It is 8 p.m. where he is in Israel today, but we managed to get this LinkedIn expert on to help you have more success. And we'll see you right back in a second. You're on the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life channel. This is the Coffee Break Show. And today we're going to take a deep dive into LinkedIn with a LinkedIn expert who is all the way from Israel, sitting here at 8 p.m. his time while I'm having coffee in my morning time to go ahead and bring you some of the best tools that you can use to improve your LinkedIn results. Welcome to the show, Daniel. I'm so glad you are here. I'm really going to enjoy this conversation today.
Thank you very much, Vicky. It's a pleasure to be part of the Coffee Break Show with you today.
Thank you. I just want to tell everybody the show is going to have a lot of stuff and things today. Everything's going to be in the show notes. So if you're listening on iHeartRadio, on Pandora, Spotify, wherever you are, welcome to the show. If you're on Amazon Audible Live, welcome to the show. If you're driving, relax. Everything's going to be in the show notes. You don't have to try and take notes while you're driving. Be safe. Be safe at what you're doing and know that you can listen and everything will be there for you in the show notes. Today, I just want to stop and talk about LinkedIn a little bit. I got to be honest with you, Daniel. To me, why LinkedIn? What is special about LinkedIn? Why should people even pay attention to LinkedIn?
What a great question to ask. Thank you very much. You don't have to be on LinkedIn, but if you try to be on LinkedIn, try to do it in the best professional way you can. And one question I would have to anyone who's not driving is when we Google ourselves, in many cases, our LinkedIn profile will be one of the very top results.
Hmm.
So we're working very hard on our online presence, in our website, in our podcast, and LinkedIn needs to support our career and our website. And don't let LinkedIn call the shots. You have to decide which way you want to drive it. As a platform, LinkedIn has 850 million users worldwide. With every second, Vicky, 3 people sign up.
Wow. It's getting to be a popular platform. I always think of it, I'm on LinkedIn because everybody tells you you have to be on LinkedIn. But I always think to myself, well, I'm not an employee, I'm a business owner. So, tell me a little bit about why LinkedIn is good for business owners and why it's good for employees. Because in my mind, unless I'm
Mhm.
looking for a job, I think LinkedIn is secondary to everything else. And I'm not sure that's true. And I'm wondering what's the truth about that?
The truth is that if you're not a job seeker, then you need to think about your own profile as a website.
Mm,
A website that needs to convert your ideal reader. And the fact that millions of job seekers are using LinkedIn does not need to affect you, Vicky, when you use the platform. Of course, if you're an entrepreneur, then you don't have to care about the job side of things. You need to understand that many of your potential clients are on LinkedIn. And
hmm
when they find you on LinkedIn, you need to make them understand why Vicky is part of the solution to their business. If they're struggling and they have an idea and they want to write a book, and you show them that you can help them write that book, then they will basically move to your website, and conversion is likely to happen on our website and not on LinkedIn.
That's so interesting that you're saying there because the reason I have it up is if I need to hire someone, that's what I'm looking for. If I need some, a consultant or something about that with LinkedIn. And I think that LinkedIn is often underrated because people don't understand what it's for. They think it's just a big job market where people are looking to consistently find a job or a job up or a help up or things like that. And they think somehow that the selling places are YouTube and Facebook and TikTok, if you want to do that. Now, I am not a TikTok fan. I do not believe that, the 60-second microbite is going to make anything. You're not going to get to be a millionaire from that. Maybe you get to push them to there. But what I liked about LinkedIn is that it's a place for professionals to connect, and professionals in a way that is going to help you maybe find the perfect candidate that you're looking for, or maybe find the perfect solution that another company has. And I think, okay, that's what it's needed for. But let me ask you, what are some of the tips and things that people can do to help themselves be seen on LinkedIn, or improve their experience on LinkedIn, or help them achieve the success that they're looking for on LinkedIn?
Thank you very much for the question. So let me suggest, Vickie, a three-step question. Question number one: who's their ideal client? Okay, if we're speaking about entrepreneurs, then I will not mention employees. You understand that if LinkedIn has close to 1 billion members, then there aren't 1 billion job seekers out there.
Yeah.
And one difference is that if you use a tool as a job seeker and you find a new job, then you forget about the tool, but you will still keep your LinkedIn presence way after you onboard to your new job. So you don't have to think about LinkedIn just as a marketplace for jobs. You need to do it what suits you. And the first question is, who's the ideal person you'd like to attract to your business?
Interesting. And if we have a hold on that, the ideal person you'd like to attract to your business. I know a lot of people see that as who's your avatar and who's your target client. And I think, the ideal customer, the consumer that you're absolutely serving, you have to be super clear on. And so for me, I have a vast audience. I have a vast audience that will listen to the Coffee Break Show. I have tons of people that we don't just talk specifically about LinkedIn, or we don't specifically talk about one topic, like some podcasts are absolutely directed towards that. I want to be able to bring an audience or a client all kinds of information, not just a single kind of information, but all kinds of information. And so I want to have all kinds of experts on. I don't want to just have a LinkedIn expert on. I want to have a LinkedIn expert on, a health expert on, a business expert on, etc. So when you're creating an audience, I mean, like, if we looked at my LinkedIn profile, you would probably think, oh my God, this needs so much help and improvement. And you know what? I think let's try that. Let's bring mine up and let's just tear it apart right now so we can see a little bit about what you would do. But everybody on the show, you're going to have to hang on a second. Let me pull this up so I can, let's see. What do I want to do? I want to add to the StreamYard. Um, can you see my LinkedIn profile? Because right now you and I are on.
What a strange,
It's kind
strange
of a
thing to say.
strange look, isn't it?
Yeah, so we'll forget about the banner for now because the banner is only live now.
Okay. So where would we start with this particular thing?
Excellent. So let's get back to the basics. Who's the ideal reader you'd like to attract to your LinkedIn profile? And I understand that you have a variety of content and a variety of experts you'd like to serve them. But if you could pick one niche or one avatar, who would those be?
Definitely entrepreneurs and business owners.
Excellent. Let's say, Vickie, that we had the magic capacity to bring them to this StreamYard and you could make them see your LinkedIn profile. What action would you like them to perform after they see what is it that you offer them on your LinkedIn profile? What action would you like those entrepreneurs to perform?
Maybe perhaps to purchase a book that I've written.
Excellent. The third question is, are we showing those entrepreneurs the right information about the books in the right order for them to see that you've written books. And I'd like you to scroll down to the very bottom of your profile. And if you're seeing this in real life, then Vickie has to scroll many times until you see the publication section where you say, I've written this amount of books.
This is so old. I'm getting ready to release my 41st book.
Okay, so if we could pick maybe one, would that be the She Myth that you wrote with Tracy Wilson, or Ultimate Freedom? Or if you'd like to promote one, which one would you like to promote now?
I would like to promote my latest book coming out, which is Cash Flow Mojo, and the She Myth. It'd be great.
Okay.
Can I only pick one, or do I have to pick? Can I pick two?
You can absolutely pick two. After the show, when the banner is the regular banner, what you could do is upload a new banner that will have both covers. Okay, the forthcoming book and the book that was released, the She Myth, and that would be the action that would make anyone instantly understand that you're the author of these two books. And the image would be much stronger than no one is going to scroll 6 times to see that information. We need to serve them in a frictionless way.
Yes.
Now, is there would you like to show them your Amazon author page, or the RSVP, or the pre-order for the new book, or the existing page?
I would like to show them the pre-order for the new book.
Excellent. Could you pull up the pre-order link on Amazon? And while you're doing this,
pre-order link is on just a second here. Smart Cash Flow book.
And while you do this,
there it is.
Excellent. Could you please copy the link here?
Got it.
And go back, please, Vickie, to your LinkedIn profile.
I'm there.
Excellent. And if you don't mind, scroll up to the very top of your profile. We'll add a featured section with this page. So can you click on the add profile section to yes, please, and select please recommended.
So recommended, yep.
And featured. And now link on the plus sign on the right. Yes, and add a link. And could you please paste the link here? Click add, and let's wait a second. I'd like you to click on add to the right. Excellent. Now, Cash Flow Mojo book, what you could do, is there a release date?
Yeah, but it's past. It's going to be about August 15th.
Okay. So what you could do is add in the title "Coming Soon" or August 2022, or something that will make it time sensitive, and the description could be maybe the byline of the book, or the benefit for the book reader. Maybe a sentence you could also tweak later. But simply doing this. Excellent. So I'm going to read it. Coming August 22, How to Get Rich, Stay Rich, and Financially Free.
Yep.
If you click on Save.
Yep.
Excellent. And you click on the arrow to the left of the featured. We'll go back to your profile.
Arrow to the left of featured. Go back to your profile.
And if you scroll down a bit, you'll see a new section with the image on the left and the text on the right.
Is there a way, instead of my image there, to put a copy of the book cover instead?
Let's try to do that. We're working without a safety net, but if you click on the pencil to the right, and the edit button in the lower third, if you click on that pencil and you have a JPEG or the book cover, let's try to replace this. Yes. Excellent. And if you click Save to confirm, that's a new feature. And now if you return to your profile by clicking on the arrow again, you see that the cover is here.
Brilliant.
Okay, Cash Flow Mojo, it took you less than a minute.
Yep.
And this is the first thing I would like our audience to take from what we've discussed so far. Question number one: who's your ideal reader, entrepreneurs, for Vickie? Second question: what action would you like them to perform? And third question: are we showing them the path to do that as quickly as possible?
Brilliant.
And of course, in 3 months' time, you could decide that instead of promoting the book, you would promote something new, and you would simply replace or add to the cash flow mojo something else, maybe a forthcoming webinar or a new event or something else that you'd like. And there's often a gap between what we'd like people to understand from our profile and what they understand. So if you're not sure about it, ask someone to look at your profile and share their thoughts with you. So where would you click? What would you do? And if you ask an entrepreneur, ideally an entrepreneur you're not connected to on LinkedIn, then they will tell you all sorts of things. Some of them would say, I would click on your contact info, and under contact info, I see the link to smartgroupfirm.com. Is this the link you'd like me to use? Or would you like
No, actually, I'd like to send them actually to VickieHelm.com.
Excellent. So if you can click on the contact info below your photo.
Below my photo, contact info.
Right. There's a pencil to the right.
Pencil to the right. Got it.
And it would be a good thing to do to visit this occasionally, because we're living in a dynamic world, and maybe the book is new, but the link has changed. So you can add the VickieHelm.com website.
Yeah.
And excellent. And if you click on contact info now, you will see that instead of the group email you had, can you click on the pencil again? Maybe there was a save.
VickieHelm.com. I see it, website URL. So I'm going to save it again. And maybe it's updated. Maybe it's not. Let's find out.
Okay, let's try to do this. I think when I click on your contact info, it still shows this one. Okay, so let's do it one more time. We'll give LinkedIn a last chance, and by the end of our call, we'll check that. It could be an occasional glitch.
Okay. So VickieHelm.com.
You know, I'm sorry. I just refreshed it, and I see the VickieHelm.com. So it may take.
Fantastic. We just didn't refresh it. That's what needed to happen. Got it. Fantastic.
Okay, so back to what we were discussing. In the profile or LinkedIn presence is not here to serve us. It needs to serve our ideal audience. And if your ideal audience is made out of entrepreneurs, then you need to look at this from their perspective. What tools, what resources, what website, what interviews can you show them that would make them understand why they need to come to you, and feature them as prominently as possible, starting from the banner, including the contact info. And then there are many ways we can add more meat to your profile. We can look at the headline and consider including the title of the forthcoming book.
Yeah.
The headline is the most expensive real estate on our profiles, Vickie, because most people will see it even before they visit your profile. For those who are watching, on the right side, you see people also viewed, and you see Wendy and Usha and all sorts of people, and the only meaningful information we see is their headline.
Yep.
So think about the headline and take 5 minutes every quarter or so to make sure that the headline and your LinkedIn presence in general is aligned with the current message you'd like to show people for the next 3 months. And maybe you'll look at it and you say, it's fine, I don't want to change anything. But just double check that every couple of months. So when you know that you'd like to stress this activity, or to show a new a website or a new podcast or something else, then you would also leverage the headline for people to understand that you're offering this service, or that you're working on something else.
Love it. So,
Uh,
is there anything we need to continue doing, or can we move away back to the screen of the StreamYard where we're
are you game for more questions about your profile, or have you had
Yeah,
enough?
let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, so if you don't mind scrolling some more to the experience section.
Experience. About here it is.
Cool. So the experience section shows the freedom seekers way, sorry, and then
Mhm.
Metadyne Digital, sponsor of this show, and then
Mhm.
Smart Group.
Mhm.
Is this the order that you'd like people to see when they visit your profile?
Yes.
Cool. Um, if you look at the publication section that we discussed earlier, then what I would suggest is this: run a digital portfolio inventory, like
I'm
build a, I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, say that again.
Sure. My suggestion was to build a digital portfolio inventory, a
Inventory. Got it.
simple spreadsheet
Yep.
with the websites and the resources and the links and the videos you created, where you were a host, you were a guest, you participated in a I'm sorry, in a summit or whatever it is, and then you prioritize them, Vicky, and you decide for the next 6 months which are the 2 to 3 links that would resonate most with my audience.
Mm.
And it's important to review this because the new book could not be there, prior to you would release it, but it's until the pre-order link is live, there's no way for you to do much about it. But once the pre-order is live, and definitely on August 15, when the book is live, then that could become prominent, and you could say that this is the top link you'd like people to see.
Mm.
In other words, instead of hoping that people will Google you and go to the Amazon page and go to your podcast and go and find that information for themselves, we need to help them by deciding analyzing the content we've produced, finding the content that resonates most with our current and future target audience, and serve them in the right order through
Mm.
our LinkedIn profile. And that's a major difference when
Beautiful.
instead of thinking about it as a CV, you think about it as a website. You need to convert your ideal reader, and the conversion happens usually outside of LinkedIn. It would happen on VickieHelm.com, where you would have usually a system of nurturing them. Or people could join your mailing list, and that means it doesn't make sense to sell on LinkedIn. It does make sense to show top of funnel content.
Yes, I see. Top of funnel content. I'm with you.
Um, could you try and describe the ideal entrepreneurs you'd like to attract, and what questions do they ask themselves, or what struggles do they have before they reach out to you?
Well, a lot of the entrepreneurs I serve are women,
Yes.
and a lot of the questions I get asked are, and no offense to any men out there at all, but it's how to be taken seriously when you're a woman in a group of men and you're, pitching or growing your business or running past some of the, myths
Mhm.
uh, that women need to move past in order to do business in a still male dominated business world.
Cool. So what I would suggest is this: since you've managed to identify the niche the ideal reader you'd like to attract on LinkedIn, what sort of content could you produce that would be evergreen? Because these questions could be asked in July or in December, and not much will change, I'm afraid.
Yep.
Because these are almost timeless questions.
Yep.
And if you could produce content that shows them that you're aware of the difficulties they face, then they're likely to discover you and then go to your website. And then maybe they're not ready to work with you when they first see you, but in 6 months' time, when they want to get promoted or when they
Yeah.
decide you want to start on your own, then they'll remember you. So
Yeah.
try to think about the content that would resonate most with your ideal target audience.
Well, I
And
think that would be the She Myth, the book, The She
excellent,
Myth, which is redefining women in business.
excellent. Instead of, like, you could say, do you think you need to choose whether you should be or whether men perceive you as she can't be pretty and smart?
Yes.
That's a provocative question, but it would make a lot of women and men attracted to the content
Yeah.
itself.
Yes.
So one thing you could do is repurpose maybe the foreword of the book or the first chapter, something
Sure.
tiny that would make people understand what the book is about, what the dilemma is, and how to try to fix this. And
Sure.
the best way I would describe it is show them that you can help them take a baby step from point A. I have no clue to point B. I know that I've only taken the first step, but you, Vickie, have helped me understand and put words, the right words, and now I understand what the next step is. And the good news about it is that once they trust you and you provided value by helping them make that first baby step, then you can say, I can show you how to go to point C and D and E. And to do that, book a call or order the She Myth or go to that page, and that would make a lot more sense than pushing the sell page down people's throats. So think about the question they struggle with, and you can easily produce or repurpose content around that would make them understand the problem.
And I would put that information in the publications area.
You could also, so far we've discussed the profile, but there's a
Yeah.
whole sharing aspect you could do.
Where would that be?
You could go to your homepage,
I'm on my
leave
home.
you, leave leave your profile and go to linkedin.com. On the top, you can click on the logo or home, and you can click now on where it says start a post to the right of your image.
Start a post to the right of my image. Start a post. Yep.
Yeah.
And this is where I could actually write the post and make a blog post with a picture on it.
Absolutely.
Write an article. Oh, I see this.
Yes.
Beautiful. There's all these choices here. I'm with you now.
So this is, again, as much as the profile is important, you could also share on LinkedIn. I don't think you need to share a lot on LinkedIn. Most of the listeners don't have to share daily on LinkedIn, but you could decide that you want to share something once a month or once a week. And why not take a question your ideal audience struggles with and write something around that?
Fantastic. I love that. I love that idea.
Some of the reactions, say you have a certain amount of people as your own connection. But let's say that when you do this, and if we talk about the She Myth, so you could tag Tracy Wilson, and Tracy and her network are likely to like and comment and share that, and that would increase your reach beyond your own network.
Love it. Love it.
So think about, first start with your online presence, then decide about your connection strategy, then about the content strategy, and then about lead generation. And sharing this could make some new entrepreneurs or new professional women who want to have a seat at the table, and they were looking for a solution and they couldn't find anything, and they would find what you write about and what you know so much about important and helpful for them to go and order the book and engage with you.
Love it. I love this. Love this. Love this. So with the abilities here,
Yep.
how often should you be putting content up per day?
I wouldn't even say per day.
Okay. Say
Because what
more.
would, uh, let's ask this. Most of our connections are not interested in seeing us hijacking their feed.
Yes.
Okay, so unless you have 30,000 connections and you want to get a lot of exposure, if your connections know that you post every day about the same sort of thing, at one point, Vicky, they might become blind to your content. They would disengage,
Yeah.
they would not comment, they would not like, and at one point, if they feel overwhelmed, they might even unfollow you or even disconnect. And
Wow.
you don't want that. So ask
Correct.
yourself, maybe start with once a quarter. I think most of our listeners could find that feasible. Once a quarter, find a link that resonates with your ideal audience. It doesn't have to be not everyone produces the coffee break show. Not everyone writes articles, but they could refer to an episode. Say, I was listening to the interview you had with Matt DiMeo about the forgettery and the names, and it was amazing, like you said, as a networking tool. The way he is able to have a discussion with 20 people and remember their names, and try to find ways to be more persuasive. So I didn't produce that sort of content, but if I found it resonated with me, what I could do is simply link to the episode, to the coffee break show with you and Matt, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe use a quote or a question you ask, something that resonated more with me. So once a quarter, take something that makes sense for you and do it in a consistent way. And then maybe you will decide to do it once a month. Better once a month, high quality content than 5 pieces of, I don't want to use any derogatory terms, a day, because you won't get results from it.
Beautiful. Love it. And I think, quality content over quantity content is always a win for anyone. All right. So, what's the next question on the list of questions?
Perhaps we could touch on connections and your connection strategy. So every LinkedIn user has a number of connections, and let me challenge or ask a couple of questions about it. My guess is that you have around 820 connections, give and take.
Yes, that's what it showed before. That's correct.
Cool.
So, if we
So
popped in here, it would show us right
mhm,
here.
excellent.
I've 500 connections.
Okay, so if you look at the top navigation bar, the second icon from left says My Network. If you
Yep.
could click on My Network, please.
Yep.
And what that will bring up is your connections. On the top left, you see now the number, and you can click on the word connections, and LinkedIn will simply show you everyone you've connected with so far. Can you click on the connections? Excellent. And if you don't mind, there's a triangle there. If you could click on it, instead of recently added, pick first name or last name.
Okay.
LinkedIn on the left.
On
No, yes, on the left. Instead of recently added, if you could pick first name or last name, LinkedIn will show you those people, but not based on the people you connected with this week, but in general. So
okay.
my question to you would be, if you look at everyone here, say if you scroll down to the
Mm-hmm.
whole letter A or B,
Yeah.
would you say that you know 20% of those people, 50%, 80%? What is your estimate?
Um, I would know. I know most everyone on here. My group is
Excellent.
small, but I know them. So I'm going to say about 85% or more.
Excellent. Vicky, let me try and explain why this is so important. There are three connection strategies. One is a quality network, and this is it. The greatest advantage of a quality network is that if you, Vicky, run an advanced search, you know what? Let's try to do that. If you don't mind, clicking on the home or the LinkedIn logo, and let's say entrepreneur, like three terms: entrepreneur, Colorado, women, like three terms, and then simply hit enter.
And then now just enter
Yes, ma'am. And I'd like you to click on the top people. There are two people
right here.
icon. Yeah, but the one on top where it says people. Yes. And now LinkedIn will show you 347 results. What I would like you to do is select under connections, the second from left. Please click on connections to the right of the people.
This one.
Yes, yes, please. First and second, and show results, please. And instead of 300, you now have 149. And let's say that you click on locations and pick only Colorado, or pick under current company some. Cool. If you show results, this would limit it even more. Okay. Can you look at the names here and pick one that could be interesting for you? Maybe Anne, or maybe someone that you could help as a business owner. And those people are people you're not connected with. Let's try to pick one of the first.
One of the first few here.
What in this screen, is there any potential customer, any potential client, anyone that
Sure. This one right here, it's just Masonville, Colorado. Flipped me a little bit, but that's okay. Yeah.
Would you mind right clicking on Ann Clark? No, don't hit connect. Don't make that mistakes. Okay, now fine. The most important names now are the 10 names that you see above the connect button. So if you click on that, the good news, if you can click on the 10 names, that you know Kevin and Jeff and Andrea and Kathy.
Yep.
And that means that you can, hear me out, leave LinkedIn, communicate with one of those people, and ask them to introduce you to Ann Clark.
Okay.
And that could bring you a potential business partner or a potential client, thanks to Kevin, or thanks to Jeff, or thanks to Andrea, because you know them. So this is the most amazing advantage when you run a search and you find someone interesting and you connected with people you knew well.
Yeah.
It means that these are no stranger to you. And
They're not. Yeah, this is great. It's a cool tool.
So many people are in love with the vanity metrics. They forget about the business metrics. What's important is not the number of connections, but what you can perform with them. And just imagine that you connected with, instead of 800 people, you would have 8,000 people. That means that you may have, instead of 10 mutual connections, you would have 100. But it will take you a lot more time to decide which one you can actually ask for an introduction. And in some of our businesses, referrals are the best potential clients out there, because they come pre-sold, they're less price sensitive, and they heard things about you from Jeff or from Kevin or from Andrea. So the conversation is a lot more comfortable.
Wow, this is cool. This is really cool. Thank you for that. Where is the next question from here as we go on? This is a really neat tool.
The advanced searches are one of the best kept secrets around LinkedIn. We run a very simple search, but you can niche down and decide that back in the day you also had a business about coins and rare coins. So you can add any term, and LinkedIn will show you can run a search that's nationwide, not just Colorado, and you will find the exact business partner. And if you run a search like this, within a minute, you will find someone who can introduce you to your ideal client or your ideal partner.
So would I say rare coin dealers?
Cool. Let's try that. And we need to start from scratch, because now we're only focusing on ads. So let's go to the homepage and then run the search.
Okay.
In the search bar here, rare coins dealer, let's start with this. So what would be the first thing to do now? Excellent. Well, people.
I think I would go to people. They're right there. And I would want to, this is just fantastic. I'm going to go to connections, first and second.
Excellent.
And then I want to go, are these rare coin dealers? Huh. Let's go with location and hit Colorado first.
Okay.
Okay, nothing different there.
Let's try, when you click on Colorado, on location, let's try this one more time. Can you remove the term Colorado? Okay, and pick the one that says Colorado, US, the first, please.
There it is. Thanks.
And if you click on show results now, instead of 172, you have 7. And that doesn't mean they're necessarily rare coin dealers, but all the terms would be in their profiles.
Wow, that's interesting. But this is odd because I would know most of them, but I don't know any of these people.
Who looks interesting when you look at them? Who looks the most intriguing?
This right here.
Cool. Could you please click and let's have a look at Kathy? And the most important name is Mary.
Nope.
Mary BMAC. Can you visit her again and see whether maybe when you visit her profile, it will bring back memories of where you two.
No, don't know her. But we have a lot of people in common, but don't know her.
So, Vickie, this is a demo of the risks of connecting with people you don't know well. Because if you look at Mary and say, of course, yes, I know her, then you could gain that introduction thanks to Mary. So you can still build a relationship with Mary because you share a lot of connections, but it will take it at least one step further. So if you hit back and let's go to the list and pick someone else, not Mary, but someone else.
Okay.
If you click back, not Kathy, but someone else. Kayla or
all right,
Terry.
let's talk. Let's do this one right here.
Please don't hit connect. No. Why? I'd like to stop.
Because we haven't, I just pushed the wrong button.
It's very important because you have just bypassed your network and you're trying to basically go from, I have no idea who you are, to let me offer you a solution that will change your life. And
I get what you're saying.
Most people are reluctant to that. And
yes, of course, that would make sense.
Because most of your network, maybe 80 or 90%, it makes sense instead of hitting connect to visit that person's profile and to see, do you know Daniel well enough to ask him for an introduction?
No.
Okay.
So I don't. I know a lot of the people that Daniel knows. We have a lot of that.
Let's pick a third one here.
Okay, this one.
Cool.
Sasha. Yes. Jack's fault. Yes.
Cool. So let's look at Jack and what I'll try to suggest the next step.
Okay.
If you can click and visit Jack's profile, what would you do now? Let's say that the person you looked at, you read her profile and she does appear to be a good business contact for you. What would you do now?
I would send him a message and ask for an introduction.
Cool. Can I make a quick suggestion here?
Yes.
If we were discussing and you had no access to your laptop and I told you that Jack could introduce you to that person, what would you do?
I would send him. I didn't have a laptop.
You don't have access to LinkedIn. I'm sorry. You have a laptop.
Oh, I don't have LinkedIn. I would send him a DM from, or a text or something.
Excellent. Could you click on contact info in Jack's profile below his profile? Here you could pick his phone or his email. And Vickie, the greatest secret is to know when to leave LinkedIn. And now my advice would be to leave LinkedIn. Why do I say that? Because LinkedIn has enabled you to find that rare coin potential. And LinkedIn has enabled you to see that Jack may be the missing link for you to have that meaningful introduction. But now is the time to leave LinkedIn, to communicate with Jack outside of LinkedIn. Ask him how it's been. and then at one point say there's this lady, and you include the link, and you ask him, do you know her well enough? My guess is he would say yes, because she has only 122 connections, so it
Mm-hmm.
could be they know each other. And if Jack says yes, of course, then the introduction you would seek is not on LinkedIn. It's in real life. It could be a phone call or a Zoom
Yes.
call or something that would bring more, build your rapport, and enable you to have a meaningful conversation with that person. So
Mm-hmm.
again, you found an interesting person. You saw that Jack could be a good mutual connection. Now is the time to leave LinkedIn, to send him a message, to give him a call, whatever your rapport is with him, and at one point to ask him. And if you don't mind clicking back so we see the lady again, if you can click back so we see not Jack but the rare
Oh, the
coin.
lady again.
Yes. Once more, if you can click and take the URL of Sasha Myers, there's a unique URL here on top. This one. So instead of saying, Jack, there's a Sasha lady, and you simply include that link in
Got
your
it.
email or your WhatsApp or whatever it is, and that enables Jack to instantly have a look and say, yes, I know her, yes, I can, or no, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to be afraid of the no. Some people will say, no, I'm sorry, I have no idea who she is. But in case he says yes, of course, then it's our job to make it as easy for Jack as possible to give you an answer. If he says yes, you're gold. Now you can build your business thanks to the fact that you connected with Jack, and Jack can open the door to Sasha Myers.
Perfect. Thank you for that. So as we pop over to this particular screen,
Yep.
I love all of these, and anybody watching, I know there's a lot of you that are listening right now. They're listening to iHeartRadio, and you can't see the demo that's going on with my LinkedIn account. But later, when you get home today, just relax. You can watch the replay of this and watch the demo and actually know how to tune up your LinkedIn channel by watching this demo that's going on right now. As he says, this is the tips and tricks you need to do in order to improve your LinkedIn profile. But I think the most important thing that you've said that I really have enjoyed so far is that you have said you want to get really clear about who it is that your client is, your consumer is, because you want to make your LinkedIn profile not about you, but about them. And I loved that. It's like your profile is there to serve your client in such a way that they can find you. And what we're doing today is we are sitting here and going through the process of creating a better profile. And we're getting to the top of the hour, and I'm going to pop back over right now into StreamYard to see if there are any questions from anybody or, messages that people have been leaving. And if you do have questions and you want a quick, let me just go pop over here. Oh, there we go. Watching the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life group today. Looking forward to learning from Daniel's insights. Thank you very much. The guy's amazing at this LinkedIn thing. I want to say, oh, somebody's saying good morning. My better half is saying good morning. I want to say that it has been amazing how much we have learned about just this particular expertise. Now, I need to ask you a couple of questions. One is, if I want to improve my LinkedIn profile and I want to sit with you and hire you and say, would you work with me and get my LinkedIn profile? Is that what you do? And how can people get a hold of you? How is it that they can connect with you so that they can get their profiles done?
Thank you very much, Vickie. Yes, that's what I do. The way to do it is simply to go to my website. That's danielalfon.com. And in the store, there would be all sorts of downloads and digital downloads, and a way to book a call that would, just like we did, start with your profile. I would ask a couple of questions and we would implement it. And usually the next step would be beyond the profile. It would be relevant to your ideal uh, prospect, and see about the lead generation you're trying to build on LinkedIn. Maybe revisit your connection strategy. Maybe you could visit those 800 people, and maybe 720 out of them, and you have 80 people that you don't know. So, Vicky, a simple thing to do would be to look at those 70 people and try to decide whether you'd like to actually communicate with them. So you've connected, but you don't know them, but you could message them. Say you would connected back 3 years ago, and I see that you're into XYZ. And maybe you could turn that virtual connection into a real life connection. Or if the person doesn't reply nicely or doesn't reply at all, you would feel a lot more comfortable simply disconnecting, but give them a way out, because they haven't done anything wrong so
Yeah.
far. And either make them work with you, or know that there's no one here you could actually ask for any help. So it's better disconnecting from that person. It's better to have 700 people you can ask for referrals than 20,000 with 700 people among them.
Mhm. Yeah, it's so interesting because in my other profiles like Facebook, I have so many people that I don't know inside that group that just follow me obviously for the show. But on my LinkedIn profile, I keep the group small. I want to know who's in my circle and what I'm doing. And if I don't know them, I haven't thought of reaching out. But as I scrolled down, I was like, know them, know them, know them, know them, know them, know them. And that's a good way for it to be. But when I get requests to connect on
Hmm.
LinkedIn,
Yes.
I connect with those that I absolutely know. Like I know you, I know you, I know you.
Mhm.
That's the first people that I give, the follow to. But I love how you have made it so that I can be introduced to someone and say, you know what, I would like to know more about you, and would you introduce me to this person, or this is my ideal client. I love how we've gotten to the point where our LinkedIn profile makes it easy to serve our client better. And I like that you've done it with such clarity, being able to sit with people. So I want to tell everybody listening, it's www.danielalfon.com, DANIELALFON. If you're driving, relax. You don't have to write this down. It's in the show notes. Everything about what we're going through today and what we've talked about today with Daniel is there. Now, listen, if you are not using LinkedIn as a tool for yourself, your business, your message, whatever you want to get out, I can honestly say that I've learned so much about LinkedIn today in this short time that I believe that you will benefit most when you're working with Daniel to go ahead and help you exceed the expectations of your consumer and clients. Everybody is trying to hustle and grind for leads, but we never get to the point where we just make it easy for somebody to contact us when they need us most. So the question you should be asking yourself is, can my clients find me when they need me most? As is my profile so spot on that they can click a button and bam, get in contact with me when they want to? That's the power of LinkedIn. And today, Daniel, I want to thank you for being on the show. I want to thank you for opening my eyes really as to the power of LinkedIn and what's behind it and how to use it in such a beneficial way. And I want to say that if you want to work with Daniel, he's the dude to work with. So www.danielalfon.com, DANIELALFON.com. It will be in the show notes. I'm going to plop it up right here for Metadime. It's there for the YouTube people as well, danielalfon.com. So, anybody that's looking and you're looking right now to improve the quality of your lead generation on your LinkedIn profile, this is the guy to work with. And I just want to say thank you today, Daniel. You shared so much, and it's been so awesome to have you on the show today.
My pleasure. It's been a pleasure to be a part of the Coffee Break show. And I just want to stress that you have a reputation that you built through years and years, and LinkedIn can simply help you maintain that reputation and increase your revenues and your profits thanks to your already existing reputation. You don't have to grow a LinkedIn personality. Vickie, you have a real life personality, and LinkedIn can simply reflect that. And you have a real life network, and LinkedIn reflects that, and that can enable you to bring additional referrals and additional business. Thank you very much for having me.
And thank you for using my profile as the example. And we, spruced it up a little bit. I know what I'm doing now a little bit more. And I'm like, wow, this is really a cool tool. All right. I just want to say to everybody, every single week, we bring you the best experts from around the world. It's probably 9 p.m. in Israel, where he is right now. And he has spent the hour educating you all on how you can improve your LinkedIn. Thank you for watching the Coffee Break Show. Next week, we're going to be here with another spectacular guest. But until then, everybody's got to listen to the music. We'll see you next week.